With this simple and useful assembly aid for the Vionaro V8, the drawer can be assembled very easily and quickly. In the block itself, there are these grooves here, which correspond to the different heights of the Vionaro V8. That means we have one here for the height 72 provided, for the 89, for the 121, and also for the 200. Of course, there are other heights as well, such as the 250 height or the crystal drawer side. And it's really simple. You just go ahead and make yourself some small spaces, for example. Especially for the crystal side panel, you can use 5 mm. For the 250, you simply need to make a small spacer with a height of 50 mm. And then place it on top here so that the bottom panel is really nice, snug, and clean later on. It's super easy and quick, as in our example, with the 200 height. And in this case, I would actually say, simply slot it into the groove here, and then the drawer is just held in place by this blocks. And now I have the big advantage that, depending on the installation width, I can simply adjust the width of the blocks however I want. The same naturally applies to the nominal length as well. That means, in our example here, we have a nominal length of 500. And if I have a longer or even a shorter nominal length, then I can simply move the block here, adjust it in depth and fit it precisely to the nominal length of my drawer. I can also, before I lay the bottom panel onto the mounting block, adjust it here to suit me best. And then the bottom panel sits here perfectly and neatly, and now I can bring the drawer sides together really nicely. Align it flush here. Here at the front, this is actually one of the most important points of all. And then I can simply use one of our drawer clamps here. Make sure that I don't cover the claws here with the clamp. And then I can just position it here, not tighten it completely. And here's another tip. At the front here, the bottom panel really needs to be flush with the drawer side. And for that, I simply take the back panel, which I'm going to use in a moment anyway, and place it at the front here. Now I can align the bottom panel and the drawer side perfectly flush on both sides. Aligning it perfectly flush also makes it much easier and neater to fit the front later on. The next point, of course, is how I connect the side of the drawer to the bottom panel. And there are two options for that. Here I have a very simple punch-in tool, which is super easy and also really inexpensive. And then I can hammer these claws in here. For example, you want to work with several drawers, so if you simply have a larger quantity, then of course you can also use this professional punch-in tool here, which also has these pins to position everything perfectly in the drawer side. So, you have several options. And there is also the possibility hammering in the claws here or using the holes. To be honest, my personal tip is to always use the claws because it's much quicker and easier and more than sufficient in terms of stability. I always start by hammering in the claw here with the small punch-in tool. That means I set it up, give it a tap here, then check the other side again to see if it's flush here, adjust it if necessary, and then go over and tap the claw here on the other side. And like this, we can now process all the other claws very quickly too. And now we can turn the drawer over once and remove the blocks. And then we can insert the back panel here straight away. The advantage with the V8 is that the back panel holder is already firmly attached to the drawer side. That means you don't always need to worry during the ordering process about making sure it's the right color, that it's the right height. All of that is taken care of for you when working with the V8. You can insert the back panel here straight away and then screw it in place. There's also a tip when it comes to screwing it in. I always pre-drill it. I always use this centering drill bit because it simply gives me the option with an angled from the outside inwards toward the bottom panel, so you can fasten the back panel securely with the screw. This way, the drawer side is pulled tightly against the back panel. Just like that. And then we can use the right screws here. These are 3.5 by 16 if you're using a 16mm back panel. And then the drawer is almost finished. Depending on the width of the drawer, it can of course also be a good idea to use a back panel screw like this. We'll skip that here in the video, but I'm sure you know what I mean. Depending on the width of the drawer, it's a good idea to use 1, 2, or even 3 back panel screws. Well, turn the whole drawer over. We still need the connection between the drawer and the slide. And for that, we need the front clips. And to ensure the correct positioning of the front clips, we've developed a little assembly aid, a small drilling jig, which you can simply place here and then pre-drill the holes. And again, it's a good idea to use a centering drill for this. And then you can simply drill into the bottom panel here. Yes, it's that simple. And that's how quickly the Vionaro V8 is assembled. And as I said, especially with this blocks, it also allows for a super easy and quick installation of the Vionaro V8. Now, well, fit the branded clip right here on the side. And then, install the drawer in the cabinet. If you have any questions about this product or others, just write them in the comments below. Definitely check out the other videos about the Vionaro V8 as well. And I wish you every success and lots of fun implementing your projects.